All right, I know some folks are filtering in as I'm going to be speaking, but welcome to this virtual college fair hosted by the College Essay Guy. Very, very helpful website right there. So definitely write that down if you have not gone to it already, or visit it whenever you have a chance. Lots of amazing resources there. We have a great group of panelists here from different institutions that are going to talk to you about their college or university. And they don't have a lot of time to do that. They have 6 minutes apiece, so there's a ton of information kind of crammed in here for you folks. So definitely pay attention to the chat. These folks will be able to put some of their contact information, important websites or codes or anything that they want you to have into that chat. They cannot see or hear you. So this part's really important. They cannot see or hear you. So if you have a question during this 45-minute session, please hit that Q&A at the top or bottom of your screen. That Q&A button is going to be the only way that you can ask a question during this 45-minute session. All right. So again, pay attention to that chat. Please utilize that Q&A button. A lot of what I'm saying, I'm also going to pop over into the chat for you as well. And really important because there's a lot of information in these. Everything that you're hearing, seeing, and in the chat is being recorded and available at strivescan.com/college essay guy. And I will also put that really important information into the chat as well. All right, to get started, we are going to be hearing from Elizabethtown College.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm just going to work on bringing up my presentation for you here. All right, so my name is Gretchen Camp. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Elizabethtown College. Like Christy said, I'm going to squeeze some important information about ETOWN College into the next 6 minutes. And I'll also drop my contact information and any important websites in the chat once I've wrapped up. But yeah, we're ETOWN College. We're located in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. If you're not familiar with Pennsylvania, we're just about an hour and a half west of Philly and about an hour and a half north of Baltimore. So we're in a really great location, definitely more of a rural community here, but close enough to larger cities like Lancaster, Harrisburg, and just 20 minutes down the road from Hershey, Pennsylvania. So we're in a prime location here in PA. So just to tell you a little bit about ETOWN College, we have just under 1,900 traditional undergraduate students. We've also got over 150 majors, minors, and concentration areas for students to choose from. We're Division III athletics, so we've got 24 D3 sports teams and 76 clubs and organizations that students can get involved with. Something on this slide that I think is really important to point out is that 96% of our students are employed in their field or seeking out like graduate school or enrolling in graduate school within a year of graduation. So that just goes to show just how prepared our students are for the job market and the real world day one after graduation. So I mentioned that we have a lot of majors, minors, and concentration areas to choose from. We are a liberal arts college, so you'll see on this screen, there's lots of liberal arts, social sciences, humanities offerings, but we do have a lot of offerings in the STEM field as well. So that's something that I wanted to point out. All of our students, with the exception of our physician assistant students or our occupational therapy students, are applying to and are admitted into the college. So not into a specific school or a major other than those two. So you really have some opportunity your first semester to explore what areas you might like. If you want to apply with an intended major, you can definitely do that. Or if you're undecided, not sure, that's okay too. Some of our most popular majors include engineering, any type of education, business, and occupational therapy. We've also got some unique majors in actuarial science and Japanese, and some newer majors in media analytics and social media, as well as exercise science. So I'd like to think that there's something for everyone here at ETOWN. I mentioned that we are Division III for athletics, so we have 24 D3 sports teams that students are recruited for each year. Our new incoming class is about 450 students. First year students, about 50 transfer students. And up to usually 25% of our new class each year is actually made up of recruited athletes. So on the left side of the screen here, you'll see all of our offerings that we have for D3 athletics. We also offer intramural and club sports as well if you'd like to still participate on one of our teams, but not necessarily at the D3 level. And then on the right-hand side of the slide here, you'll notice that there's 76 clubs and organizations, like I mentioned previously, from academic and advocacy clubs to service-oriented clubs. You've got games and gaming, you've got honor societies as well. So there's many things for students to get involved in, and students can be as involved as they'd like, or if they just like to kind of feel out their first semester first, see what your schedule looks like before diving in and joining clubs and organizations, that's okay too. But every semester at the start of the semester, we do offer an involvement fair so that you can see exactly what your options are here at ETOWN. So I wanted to mention just the application process just a little bit. I know that we may have students here in all different grades, parents as well. We work on what's called rolling admission. So our application goes live on August 1st of every year for the following fall, both the Common App or the ETOWN app. We are test optional, so you'll see under step 1 what we do require, but we are test optional when it comes to the SATs or ACTs, unless you're interested in the physician assistant program. We start making decisions usually in mid-September on students who've completed their applications, usually within 2 to 3 weeks after that. Like if you're applying, let's say in October or November, you complete your application, usually within 2 or 3 weeks, you'll get a decision from us if you've been admitted, but also if you've received a merit scholarship, which range up to $18,000 per year. And those are just the merit scholarships. We do offer other need-based financial aid. We offer some full tuition scholarships and specialty scholarships for students interested in music, who are members of Church of the Brethren, who have demonstrated a commitment to diversity and social justice issues. So I'll make sure to put in the chat at the end some links to our scholarship offerings. And then we ask you to make your decision by May 1st. So come May 1st, we hope that you've visited us, gotten your financial aid package, had a chance to talk to professors, current students to determine if ETOWN is the right fit for you. Here's our visit website. Again, I'll drop it in the chat. There are a lot of things, a lot of different visit opportunities to choose from during the year, whether it's virtual or an in-person option, from open houses, which are larger, to personalized weekday visits. I have a colleague here tonight who's doing an evening event for students and parents that an evening work better with their schedule. So there's different opportunities all throughout the week and all throughout the year for visits. And then that's just our contact information. Again, I'll put that in the chat just so you have it, and I'll drop some other important information as well. But thanks for checking us out and for learning more about ETOWN with me.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have College of Wooster.
All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Rian, Science Chief. I'm the Director of International Admissions at the College of Wooster. And so I'm just kind of filling in tonight, but I will be talking about our global campus, and I'll try to answer your questions about international students and American students. So just to start with, let me see if I can get this working. So Wooster has about 2,000 students, so we're kind of a smaller campus. But actually, we're very diverse, and I think a lot of people don't realize that about Wooster. So we're located in Ohio, in Wooster, Ohio, and our campus is beautiful, as you can see in the picture. But more importantly than that, we have so much diversity, not just where our students are from, but how they identify, different socioeconomic, religious, all the different pieces of diversity that we think about. And like Elizabethtown, we are a liberal arts college, so we like to bring everybody together in the classroom and encourage discussion and critical thinking and adaptability and all these amazing pieces of the liberal arts. So these are our quick facts, in case you were wondering. About 17% of our students are international, 24% are U.S. students of color. Our students represent all 50 states this year, which is, I think, the first time since I've been at Wooster that that's been the case. So it's very exciting. And we have 70 countries represented on campus as well. We also have a small student faculty ratio, and that's really important because of our research program that I'm going to talk about in just a second. We have about 100 different academic programs, including our majors, minors, and pathway programs. And we offer both merit and need-based aids, both international and American students. So the three important things to know about Wooster, this is how you'll know I'm moving forward with my presentation. Number one, we're really good at research. So at the College of Wooster, all students do research every year. In your first year, you work on research within the classroom in your first year seminar class. It's about learning communication skills and starting to build those critical thinking muscles, right? And in your second year, you do sophomore research, which is where you'll work on a project that a professor is doing. And then in your third year, you transition to doing your own research in your major. And in your fourth year, you do a huge project called the independent study. It's kind of like a master's thesis at the undergraduate level. And for that project, you get to pick something that you're really passionate about and just explore it. And there's so many different ways that our students do that. So you can do a creative project. For example, if you're in music or the arts or something like that, you might do a creative project. You can do experimental, like the people in the picture in the labs, for example, because we have a lot of STEM fields. Or analytical, you can review historical documents, for example, if you're a history major or something like that. So there's a lot of different things that we mean when we say research, and essentially we mean a big project. And you get to complete it one-on-one with a professor. That's the mentored part. So every student at Wooster gets that opportunity to choose a topic, explore it in depth for a year, and work one-on-one with a professor. The second thing about us is that we're a global community. So diversity is really important at the College of Wooster. And after that, I'll talk just a little bit about the city as well, so that you know where we're located. This is I just want to stop here really quickly. This is one of my students, Hao. He's from China. He's doing architecture at grad school, but for undergrad, he did art, and this was his final project. So like I said, your research project in your senior year, it doesn't have to be traditional research. He actually explored religion and art, and then created this huge mural. It's 30 feet long. It was amazing. And so our students are doing some really great work. And it's not just in your senior year. There's a lot of things that students are doing to prepare for that final piece of your Wooster puzzle. Things like experiential learning, which is study abroad or doing internships. I know almost all of my students do at least one internship, if not more. Getting involved in our entrepreneurship program. We have a lot of students who want to start their own businesses, and we support that while they're on campus and after graduation. So we have all of that, as well as that research piece that kind of flows through all 4 years. After graduation, 96% of our students are employed or in graduate school. And so that's kind of the reason that you're going to college, is what am I going to do after graduation? And we don't want you to lose sight of the fact that while you're at college, you get to have all these amazing experiences, these things where you're figuring out what you're passionate about, while you're enjoying being part of this amazing community of your peers, but also thinking about what you want to do after graduation and how you can get there. And that's a really important piece of what Wooster does too. So like I said, we're a really global campus. So at the College of Wooster, we have students from all over the world, and we encourage students to learn about other cultures, to meet people who are different from themselves, and to engage in respectful dialogue within the classroom and outside of the classroom. And so, that's a really important piece of who we are. We also have a lot to do on campus. We have 120 student organizations. We have a lot of students in music, dance, art, theater, athletics, diversity organizations, volunteer organizations. Our students are very passionate about sustainability. So there's a lot that you can get involved in as well. And then I do want to mention really quickly the city of Wooster. So you might be wondering, where is Wooster located? So Wooster is about an hour south of Cleveland. We are about 30,000 people. So it's a smaller city. Don't worry, we have Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Caribou Coffee, as well as independent coffee shops. So everything you need to get through late night studying. We have a really great bike path that's 18 miles long. It's amazing. We have a lot of outdoor recreation. We have hiking, and it's a really amazing place to live, actually. And I hope that if you're close by, or if you're far away and you have the chance, that you can come visit us and see our campus and feel kind of the spirit that we have on campus, which I think is also a really unique thing to Wooster that's hard to explain in a PowerPoint. Additionally, it's very safe. And I know that for my students, a lot of times their parents want to know, what is Wooster like? It's a very safe place. It's easy to walk downtown. You can walk to where this picture was taken in about 15 minutes. There's free buses that go around town for students with their student ID. And it's just kind of a wonderful place to live that's both family friendly and just kind of a fun college town. And so this is just a little bit from our downtown. That's one of my favorite coffee shops. It's a Hungarian one. Now, some of the nitty gritty. Wooster is committed to a free application, so you can apply for free on the Common App or the Coalition. We do have early decision, early action, and regular decision. If you do have questions about any of those things, you can certainly let us know. They're pretty standard across a lot of colleges and universities. Students at Wooster are considered automatically for merit scholarships. And if you want to apply for need-based aid, there's forms for that for both international and American students. So we provide merit and need-based aid to all students. There we go. This is my email address. And like I said, I work generally with our international students, but I'm happy to pass your message on to any of our domestic counselors. I am always happy to answer questions about the College of Wooster, but also I've been doing this for about 16 years and I love answering questions about the application process, essays, anything that you have questions about, I'd be happy to help with. So feel free to reach out at any time. And thank you very much for your attention.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Ramapo College of New Jersey.
Good evening, everyone. Just give me 1 second. All right, we're going to load up this PowerPoint. This top one. All right, we'll do it that way. And here we go. Okay, everyone, so thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jose.
Your audio is cutting out. I just want to let you know your audio is cutting.
It was a little better before you shared the screen. You might want to just close that.
All right, I'm hoping everybody can hear me now.
It's still really difficult to hear you.
System. Okay, can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
I'm going to assume we can. Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Jose Vallejo. I am an admissions counselor from Ramapo College of New Jersey. A little bit about our institution. We are actually located up in northern New Jersey. So we are about 30 miles north of New York City at the foothills of the Ramapo Mountains. We are technically New Jersey's smallest four-year public college. Our total undergraduate enrollment right now is about 5,500 students. We bring in a class of about 1,000 first-year students every year. And we really try to provide our students here on campus with a true campus community. You know, part of our pride in our size is that we don't have any lecture hall courses of any kind for any classes. So our average class size is 21 students, but the largest class size that students are going to be sitting in is about 30 to 35. So definitely no large lecture hall courses for any kind of class that you take here, even in your first year. Our mission is to provide you with a small classroom environment, direct contact with faculty members who are here to teach and mentor you throughout your entire 4 years here at the college. One of the things that we have here at our institution is also opportunities for students to really kind of make Ramapo their home, whether that's through tailoring their majors into specific areas of study that they want to do, or even kind of leaving their mark on campus in one of our leadership positions for students. So really trying to help you build a community here at the college. We are a test optional institution, so students are not required to submit SATs or ACTs for any of our undergraduate majors or our 4+1 programs. And I'll talk about those in a little bit. But we also have a vibrant campus community here. We have different, like I mentioned, different ways for students to get involved, whether it's through living on campus or athletics or clubs and organizations, Greek life, study abroad, whatever that case may be. We're here to help enhance your education here at the college. We have tons of opportunities for you to visit our campus. You can visit in person or virtually. So we have these different opportunities under our visit page on our main website. And we also have opportunities for you to get more information from us and learn a little bit more about Ramapo as well. Looking to kind of tailor the information that you are going to be getting. All right, so academically, we have over 100 majors and minors here at the college that you can choose from. We have a number of joint medical programs through our biology major. These do require SATs or ACTs, but we also do have a test optional bio pre-med program for students who are interested in medicine, but not necessarily are looking to submit either SAT or ACT test scores. Our 4+1 programs allow students to truly kind of get a bachelor's and a master's degree in 5 years full time. So you'll see some of those listed here. We are also expanding this as we recently just launched a new applied mathematics and computer science master's degree. So I believe after year 1, they will be scheduled to also offer 4+1 options with our undergraduate programs. So again, trying to find ways to kind of tailor your education to get you the education and training that you are looking for. One of the things with our majors is that we do have internship opportunities for all of our programs, and those are also tailored to your interest. We ask you what you want to get out of your internship, and then we help you find the perfect internship for you. Right now, we have about 1,000 internship sites in New York City, as well as opportunities for internships overseas in about 45 countries. I mentioned about getting involved. Here's some examples of ways that students can get involved through student organizations. Some of those are listed right there for you. If we don't have the student club or organization that you're interested in, we will help you establish it on our campus and provide you with funding for you to be able to start doing programming with your new group. Other ways that we have students get involved include our various leadership programs that students can partake in. We also have a college honors program, a student ambassador program, Division III sports, fraternity and sorority life, honor societies. So you name it, we definitely have it for you to kind of help enhance your education and your time here with us. The most important part about the Ramapo College experience is really that bound community. I'm a graduate of Ramapo many years ago. I'm still in contact with the professors that I had here, as well as some of my advisors that are still here working at the college. So, we really provide you that kind of opportunity to connect with the campus. On the admissions side, we're pretty simple. You can apply to Ramapo directly on our website through the Common App or the Coalition application. Our applications open on August 1st. And then depending on how you apply, we have different deadlines. So we do offer an early decision option, which is a binding decision. We also offer early action and a regular decision. The deadlines are going to be listed on the bottom of your screen. Pretty simple for the admissions process. Your complete application does include a transcript as well as one letter of recommendation. If you choose to submit SATs, you're more than welcome to do so, but you're not required to unless you're applying for the medical programs, and then any other information you would like to share, AP scores, dual enrollment schedules, anything like that. For us, it's really important that we look at all applicants holistically. And what that means for us is kind of really going beyond your GPA. I'll be running out of time here in a second. I'm just going to end with saying I'm also going to add my contact information on the in the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Simmons University.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen, set my presentation up, and then we'll get started. Give me one moment. All right. Excellent. I'm hoping everyone can see that. My name is Sarah Arment. I'm an admission counselor at Simmons. I use she, her pronouns. I'm also really lucky to be joined by one of our students, Molly Gladstone, who will be sort of browsing the chat. If anyone has any questions that they'd like answered, she'd be happy to give a really good student perspective on any of those questions that you might have. And I know we're sort of pressed for time, so I'm going to jump right into it. Simmons is a women-centered institution located right in the heart of Boston, and we're the only women-centered institution in the city. And when I say women-centered, we accept women, transgender, non-binary, and gender fluid students. We're a small liberal arts university, so we have about 1,800 students on campus, and there's a lot of benefits to attending a small school. Our average class size is 16, our student to faculty ratio is 9:1, so you're going to be getting a lot of individualized attention from your professors. You're never going to be sitting in like a 300-person introductory lecture, and that allows our faculty and our students to have really strong relationships. While we might be small, we have a ton of opportunities for students to pursue both with academic pathways. We have over 60 majors and programs, but we also have over 70 clubs and organizations that students can be involved in. I'll also note that we are part of a consortium called the Colleges of the Fenway, where students can take classes at 4 other institutions within walking distance. So we can take classes at those universities and colleges. They can take classes at Simmons, and all our clubs and organizations are open to colleges of the Fenway students and vice versa. So I always like to think of Simmons as your small, tight-knit community as sort of a home base. And then that sort of expands as part of that consortium, which is a really great opportunity for students to sort of move between those spheres. We also have access to the city of Boston, and that opens it up even further. There's over 300,000 college students in Boston, so you have the opportunity to meet and connect with students from a bunch of different institutions from all over the world studying really interesting things. And in terms of location, we're in a really prime spot. So we are within walking distance to the Longwood Medical Area, which is where some of Boston's top hospitals are, Beth Israel, Boston Children's. So a lot of our students, regardless of major, will have the opportunity to pursue clinicals, do internships, do research at these institutions. We're also right by Fenway Park. My apartment is literally like across the street, and Paul McCartney is playing right now. So I don't know if anyone can hear the music, but you have the opportunity to attend a lot of, concerts. You can see the Red Sox play for cheap, which is always really fun. We're also right by the Museum of Fine Arts and the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, which students can get into for free. So there's a lot of opportunities for extracurricular, for internship opportunities, for social events, within walking distance or a quick walk or train ride away, which is a really, really great spot to be in as a young person. Like I said, we are small, but we have a bunch of different programs that students can pursue. Some of our most popular majors include nursing, political science, public health, business, just to name a few. And what's great, we are a liberal arts institution, so students have an opportunity to really craft their major and their academic program to what they're interested in and to what they want to sort of do once they graduate from Simmons. So a lot of students will double major, have a minor, have 3 minors. We have a couple accelerated programs for students who are interested in receiving an undergraduate degree as well as a graduate degree in 4 years. So there's a lot of flexibility and the ability to sort of craft a unique pathway at Simmons, which I think is really important when you're young and starting to figure out what you want to do both in the classroom and then outside of the classroom. And another huge component and sort of tenet of the Simmons, philosophy, part of that is that liberal arts education, but also career and professional preparedness. So every single one of our students, regardless of major, is going to participate in some sort of real world learning experience. So whether that takes the form of an internship, a research opportunity, a field study, a clinical experience, a thesis as part of the capstone for their major, students are going to have the opportunity to use what they're learning in the classroom and sort of translate into the real world and hopefully, expand beyond what they're learning in the classroom and take it to once they graduate from Simmons. And I just want to speak really briefly a little bit more about the women-centered aspect of our institution, because that's a big part of the identity and a big part of what makes Simmons unique. So, we find that students who attend Simmons are fierce advocates, they're leaders, they're passionate, and they're well prepared for whatever career opportunities come their way after graduation. And a lot of the data backs that up. I mean, women's-centered institutions, graduates are twice as likely to complete graduate degrees, 30% of Business Week's Rising Women in Corporate Are America are women's college graduates, and a fifth of the women in Congress also graduated from women-centered institutions. So it's a really great experience, whether it's something you know that you're interested in or something that you've just stumbled upon and now might have an interest in. But either way, I did not attend a women-centered. I went to a co-ed undergraduate institution, and the more time that I spend working for Simmons and meeting the staff and the faculty and the students, the more that I wish that I had attended a women-centered institution. It's a really cool opportunity. So something I always like to highlight. That being said, that sort of brings me to the end of my presentation. I know that was a very brief overview. So of course, like everyone else said, I'm going to be putting my information in the chat. Please feel free to use the Q&A feature if you have any questions, or feel free to email me after this presentation. But thanks again for joining us, and glad that you got to learn a little bit about Simmons.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have University of Richmond.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Erica Riesbeck, and I am the Associate Director of Admission at the University of Richmond. Really excited to tell you more about our university. Like Simmons, we are categorized as a liberal arts and science institution, and we focus on the undergraduate experience. But we have that combination of having this focus on undergraduates with many of the same benefits that you would find at a larger research institution, but all in that small size of 3,200 undergraduates, as well as Division I athletics. We're really fortunate, even in our small size, to have some mighty teams. We are the Spiders, and I always like to point that out because it's a little unusual. We're the only Spider mascot in the country, but we like to highlight some of those attributes that a Spider has. In general, we sort of follow this traditional liberal arts and science curriculum, but we also have undergraduate schools in business and leadership studies. And we're located in a suburban neighborhood about 7 miles from the downtown city center of Richmond, the city of Richmond, which is the capital of Virginia. And Virginia is centrally located on the East Coast, about 2 hours away from Washington, D.C. We support those 3,200 undergraduate students in a safe residential setting. 90% of students live on campus all 4 years, and the average class size is 16. Because 99% of students live on campus, because 90% of our students live on campus, you have this really amazing community where you walk outside your door and you're having great conversations in the classroom, and you can continue those into the dining hall. Our class size is generally usually under 30 students. So you're only taught by professors. Faculty are the only ones that teach undergraduate students. And the faculty's research and their connections really will benefit you. And you're going to rely on professors to write recommendation letters for graduate school, or they might help you find that really important summer internship or job after graduation. So making those connections in sort of that small environment is really important. With our undergraduate schools, we do have 3 undergraduate schools. So the Jepson School of Leadership Study, the School of Arts and Sciences, and the Robbins School of Business. This is the type of opportunity that you can really do anything you want. When you apply to the university, you do not apply into a major, you do not apply into a school. You actually enter as undecided. Although many students already have an idea of what they might want to major in, we want you to keep an open mind. And so there's a lot more academic freedom and flexibility when you start off as an undeclared student, but you're able to really take classes in any of these schools. It's easy to move around. And so our students have fun with sort of mixing and matching, and about 2/3 of students will end up selecting more than just a major, whether that's a double major, a double major, double minor, a major and a minor. I'm always surprised how ambitious students are. This is a list of our top 10 most popular majors from last year. Again, there's 100 different majors and minors, but you can see business administration and leadership studies, and those 2 different schools are at the top of the list, but plenty of arts and science majors like biology, psychology, political science, computer science, global studies are all very popular here at Richmond. So of 3,200 undergraduates, approximately 11% of our students are international, about 29% are US students of color. We represent almost every single state in the US and almost 80 different countries. This is a slide that shows you the class of 2025. So a typical entering class is around 840 to 880 students. We want to bring together students to Richmond that are really just motivated, they're passionate, they would be what you would describe as sort of lifelong learners. They love being in the classroom and having these great discussions and exploring really the world around them. And to help our students explore, we do have one of our signature programs, which is called the Richmond Guarantee. We know that the classroom experience is not the only thing you need to prepare for that next step, that career post-graduation. And so we guarantee you funding in the summertime up to $5,000. It can be applied to an unpaid or underpaid internship, or it can go towards summer research project that's mentored by one of our professors. Students really get to choose what to do, and we support them in that pursuit. So what would you do? Where would you go with $5,000 in summer funding? It allows you to really think outside the box and come up with some great summer experiences that are going to be glowing for your resume later on. About 89% of the class of 2020 participated in an internship during their time at Richmond. And so I want to thank you all for joining us. This is, a couple of the rankings. We do like to brag about the beauty of the campus. Many of the students have described Richmond as looking a little bit like Hogwarts from Harry Potter, and you definitely get that vibe on campus. So thank you so much. And I think we're going to move over to the Q&A portion.
All right, yes, you have it. So if I could actually have all of my panelists turn their camera back on, and I'm also going to put this in the chat so everyone can see the question that's being asked. But if you could tell us, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process in the same order that we went? Elizabethtown College first.
Sure. So my biggest piece of advice, typically when asked this question for the college search process, is just to make a list of everything that you are hoping for or looking for in a college: location, size, academic programs, interests outside the classroom. So make that list, come up with colleges that meet that criteria, and then look into and investigate and visit one that's completely opposite of that. So if you think that you want a small school like ETOWN, check out a larger school as well, and vice versa. I personally thought I wanted a smaller school, ended up looking into a larger school, and that's where I ended up and had a really great 4 years experience. So that's usually my piece of advice.
And for me, I love that, actually, the idea of looking for something opposite. That's a great idea. So I usually tell students to start early, because if you wait until, for example, the fall of your senior year, it can be, I think, more stressful than it needs to be. So if you can start a little bit earlier and think about what you're interested in, do some visits if you're able to. If you're not able to, check out visits online. Most schools have that option now. And then also take your time with your application. So the Common Application opens August 1st, and just taking that time to make sure you're giving us as much information as you can about your interests, activities, taking time to revise your essay and make it the best that it can be. I think that's really important. And the earlier you start, the more time you'll have for that.
Okay, so I'm going to add, echoing what my colleagues just mentioned to you, I'm going to add the concept about starting early, but not making it like, oh, this is now an additional task you have to do, right? Blend it into your everyday. We're about to enter the summer. I mean, in some places we're already at summer. It's warm, it's beautiful. If you're going on a vacation, check out local colleges where you're at. Look them up, see, do they have the programs that I'm interested in? And just do a campus visit as part of the vacation. When you kind of incorporate all this process into your day-to-day, it makes it much simpler. Also, a campus visit is a great way for you to test run what it feels like for you to be on that campus. As you heard earlier from Elizabethtown, like, you might think you want something small, but then you visit a large campus and then you're gonna see a totally different experience, right? At the end of the day, it's finding the right fit beyond the major, beyond do they have this activity for me, is the fit and the culture of that campus. And also starting it early is also a great opportunity for you to kind of measure your time and be able to kind of do everything and not rush through the entire process.
I would definitely sort of second everything the panelists have already said. Just to add to that, I think what we're looking for and what you should keep in mind when you're sort of crafting your application is to, think, how can I best demonstrate who I am and what can I add to the university that I'm applying to. So Simmons takes on a holistic review process. So while your GPA and how many AP courses you've taken and what your test scores might be are important, we also want to know who you are and what you're passionate about. And again, what can you add to, the Simmons community or any community that you're applying to. So keep that in mind. There's opportunities to visit campus, to reach out and talk to your admission counselors via email or setting up, Zoom meetings, talk to current students, interview. We have both virtual and in-person options. So if you can sort of demonstrate who you are and what you can bring and what you're interested in doing, that's the best sort of way, I think, to go about the process.
And the college search process can feel pretty overwhelming, might feel a little stressful sometimes. And so I also want you to have some patience with yourself, with your family members that are helping you go through this process. You're really there to be advocates for one another and cheerleaders. And so, approaching everything with that thought that, okay, this is tough for all of us, and just give each other some patience and some grace, and try to have as much fun as possible. Finding that next home for yourself for university.
Yeah, all great advice. We actually have enough time to kind of quick fire answer this next question, which I always think is a little fun. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school, starting at the top again, Elizabethtown?
Sure. So aside from, the things that I mentioned in my presentation, something really fun about ETOWN is we have here what's called chocolate days. We have the Dove M&M Mars factory here in town. I stepped outside yesterday. I live 5 minutes away, and it smelled like baked brownies outside. So here in ETOWN, it can smell like two things. We say country fresh air, or those chocolate days where it smells like brownies. So when I moved here from Connecticut a couple years ago, that was something that really stood out to me.
I think at the College of Wooster, we have a lot of really fun traditions. And my favorite one is that when students graduate, they steal a brick from one of the brick walkways on campus, because we have all of these bricks and they all say Wooster on them. I don't know where they keep getting them, but whatever. And so when you are about to graduate, you go and you and your friends dig out a brick and you steal it, and it's all very hush hush, except that it's allowed, so it's fine. And then you keep it in your office or your home or whatever, and it's just like a little piece of Wooster to take with you. And then we replace them.
I think the one thing that I would want everybody to remember about Ramapo, other than our size and location and whatnot, is that we have your coffee fix covered. We have a Dunkin' Donuts and a Starbucks on campus. Your meal plans work at both. We have you covered. So if you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker or one of the refresher drinkers, we have you covered morning, noon, and night. And it's great because everything is so close together that you really kind of have that ability to kind of walk around and with your beverages and whatnot.
I think the one thing that I'd want attendees to sort of take away and remember about Simmons is that we're working to become, the most diverse and inclusive campus in New England. And that's a lofty goal, but it's something that our faculty, staff, and students are really passionate about. So if that's something that you connect with, Simmons is definitely a really good place for you to be. Our students are really passionate, they're advocates, and they do a lot of the work to getting Simmons to where it needs to be. So again, if that's something you're interested in, definitely something to keep in mind when you're looking at schools in the summer and the fall.
At Richmond, we really want our students to spend some time away from us and go abroad. And so Richmond is number 2 in the country for sending undergraduate students outside the country. So about 67% of students will go abroad. It's not just study abroad, it could be volunteering abroad, working abroad, but we have more than 70 different programs in over 30 countries to choose from. And we also support students, like your financial aid package travels with you, but we'll also add on a stipend of $1,000 for every student. If you don't have a passport or if you need a visa, we'll pay for those fees. And there's additional funding if students needed funding for things like airfare beyond the $1,000. So we want to make it as easy as possible for students to have that experience abroad. It could be a semester, it could be a year, it could be a few weeks. So kind of a program for everyone to make sure that you're comfortable.
All right, that's awesome. Very interesting stuff about each of your schools. The other thing too, I always like to plug is please contact these folks. They are the experts. They're really trying to find the right fit for you. And so ask them the questions. This is what they do. They most likely have the answers. And when they don't have the answers, they are very, very willing to help you find them. So please contact these folks. Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your time. Everyone out there, thank you so much for joining us. We know that this can be a very stressful time, and being able to do this virtually from wherever you are to learn a little bit more about the available learning, either college or university, is so, so important in this journey. So good luck to you. Again, thank you to our panelists, and thank you to everyone out there, and best of luck and have a great night.